up, Tzu Chi in Mozambique visits schools post-Cyclone Idai to assess rebuilding efforts. And we listen to single parent Subatra's story on how Tzu Chi helps her financially and found her a job. Welcome to Dao Headlines. I'm Mary Lee Shioda. Thank you for joining us. Education is the basis which society is built upon, yet it has been 5 months after Cyclone Idai, and many of the schools in Mozambique have not even begun repairing the damages. Tzu Chi volunteers hope to understand the needs of each school in terms of how best to rebuild, reconstruct, and repair. When asked what toys they want, the children's answers are heartbreaking.
Eu quero roupa. Eu quero roupa. Eu quero roupa. Eu quero roupa.
The journey to schools is bumpy and dusty. Tzu Chi's construction assessment team estimates they will use 3 days to visit 18 schools to further understand the needs and condition of each school. In the aftermath of the rainstorm, many of the schools have not the ability to fix their damages, which further compounds the problems they already experience.
Precisamos de mais uma fontenária.
The most difficult problem is that over 2,000 households of the tribal village and over 1,000 students of this school use the same watering hole.
Também sofreu também com Idai, pusemos também lona, chapas também roubaram. Não tem chapa, roubaram também.
Namatanda General Secondary School has over 6,000 students, but only 20-some classrooms, so their lessons are split up into day and night classes. As well, many of the students come from low-income families.
Neste momento temos essa dificuldade de falta de sala de aulas.
Our problem is we are lacking in classrooms. We don't have dormitory for students, and many students don't have books. Over 90% of our students don't have their own textbooks.
Each school has its own unique flair.
Before we came, Master Cheng Yan reminded us to really understand the place and get to know how their population is separated, and what the difference between the cities and countryside, and how the housing situation is. She doesn't want the school building to stand out like a sore thumb. It must be incorporated into the place.
能够真的融入到它的那个乡镇当中，是不会觉得很突兀，好像明明是一个村落里头，却出现了一个庞然大物的大建筑。
So I'm very impressed with your project related to household for families and teachers, and we still have some schools to be rehabilitated, and we hope the Tzu Chi and other partners of education may come to help us.
It is hoped the school rebuilding project will leave a lasting image in the minds of locals. As 10 years from now, love continues to blossom in the hearts of the students using the school. In continuation of our series report on the 10th anniversary of Typhoon Morakot, we take a look at how the residents who lost their home in Jiamu, Pingtung County, and moved to the Changzhi Baihhe settlement has continued their affinity with Tzu Chi throughout these 10 years. They are the heroes who helped villagers from Pingtung's Jiamu escape the horrors of Typhoon Morakot. It's been 10 years and one of the heroes of Jiamu, Ke Xingxiong, has moved into Pingtung County's Changzhi Baihhe settlement.
We haven't experienced such a natural disaster before. We were scared and didn't know what we could do.
In 2012, Ke Xingxiong rented a plot of land nearby the settlement and began leading the residents to plant wheat crops and rent quinoa.
This land is our life, so we've named it Spiritual Farmland. We're not only bringing the older generation here, but also the younger generation. We are learning from the elderly and also from the environment.
The home at the new Jiamu washed away. If we had stayed there, we wouldn't be here.
Seeing Typhoon Morakot destroying her home, the 73-year-old Jiamu tribal villager will never forget it. Yet, despite the devastation, the tribal villagers are closer than ever.
Thanks to Tzu Chi for building such a beautiful home for us. It's safe and easily accessible.
In the past, only the old and young live in the mountain. We were missing those in between because they went to the city to work. But moving down here to our forever home, those living nearby have moved back too.
They come to say hello to us, and the recyclables can help the poor.
Every Wednesday is the settlement's recycling day, and Tzu Chi volunteers come forth to pick up the recyclables from each household.
It's a good feeling coming here to collect recyclables. I'm grateful the residents saved the resources for us.
Many of the residents tell us they save the recyclables for us because we build the homes for them. They feel they don't have anything to give, so they save the recyclables for us.
This conservation task has not stopped for the past 10 years. Volunteers and the local residents have established a good working model.
It's very moving because his mother, even during her time of sickness, still insists the son would save the recyclable items for Tzu Chi as a way of repaying the master for her compassion.
Busy restocking their merchandise, Bao Mingtang and his wife has turned some of their agricultural products into items for sale.
Besides Tzu Chi's companionship, they also sent us some consultants to help us. We established an outreach association, and they help improve our quality of living.
We plant whatever we can. We're grateful. We make do with however much we make.
After the stormy disaster, Ba Lian Yu joined Tzu Chi's Cash for Relief program, and the volunteers' compassion has stayed in her heart.
This is the picture we took together. She told me our photo looks good, and she gave me a picture, so I've kept it all this time.
Bringing out a picture from 10 years ago, she remembers the good times she had with the volunteers.
They have given us the biggest support, from suffering from the 88 floods to not knowing what to do. The Tzu Chi sisters provided spiritual support and companionship.
The agricultural items help bring financial stability to the settlement, while this area is blossoming just like the lily flower the settlement is named after. In Medan, Indonesia, for the past 11 years, a solitary senior scavenges for recyclables for a living. But 2 years ago, the person whom she sells her recyclables to passed away, and the senior was left not knowing who or where to sell her recyclables to. Even though she has no source to sell to, she couldn't stop the habits of collecting and ended up filling her home with the recyclables as well as trash. As her home is now overwhelming with clutter, her neighbors asked Tzu Chi for some help. Opening the door, garbage fills the home as far as the eye can see. The homeowner needs to climb out from the piles of garbage to leave the house. This is solitary senior Hao Lai Tuang's house. In the past 10 or more years, a person would come to her house to pick up the recyclables and pay her, but 2 years ago it ended. The senior then didn't know who to sell her recyclables to, but continued filling her home with recyclables and garbage. Seeing her in distress, a neighbor called upon Tzu Chi for help.
I just asked Tzu Chi for help, and within the week, the volunteers came to assist. They are very professional. They know right away what is trash and what is recyclable. They also consider how the seniors will feel. It's so great.
Facing the enormous task ahead, volunteers break down the jobs by first making sure to separate the recyclables from the garbage before further cleaning up the house. The care recipient also helps.
We're entirely moved by the grandmother's spirit. She's 73 already and is still getting by on her own through recycling. Though her home was overwhelmed with items, she still maintained a happy spirit. She's very trusting of us. This is why we're here to help her clean her place.
20-some volunteers spent a whole day's time clearing out the senior's home. In the end, 24 truckloads of garbage was cleared, and her house is finally looking like a home once more.
I like it a lot, having the volunteers here helping clean up my home. I'm happy. Thank you, Tzu Chi. Thank you, Tzu Chi sisters. I'm so happy you're here to help me.
After the house has been cleaned, the volunteers also help repaint the home and held a housewarming party to celebrate this new beginning. On August 17, 1999, a terrible 7.4 magnitude earthquake happened in Turkey, where casualties numbered around 18,000. It marked the worst in recent history and also began Tzu Chi's connection with Turkey. Beginning today, we present a new series report on a look back at this history and the test of how cross-country, cross-cultural, cross-religion were able to work together to begin healing this broken land.
Gece uyuyorduk, herkes uyuyordu. Karanlıktı zaten, gece 3-3.30 sıralarıydı hatırladığım kadarıyla. Birden bir sarsıntıla uyandık. Herkes binanın çöktüğünü gördük yani. Şu anda zaten kurtarılamayanlar da var. Ne bileyim yani bir koşuşturma oldu. Kaynar gibiydi her yer. Bilmiyorum, ifade edemiyorum yani. O an ölümle pençeleştik gibi bir şeydi.
What seemingly was an ordinary summer night in August of 1999 forever changed when an earthquake of magnitude 7.4 struck. The 45 seconds of shaking was the last thing those in deep sleep felt. That fateful year, a total of 13 strong quakes happened in different parts of the world, with Turkey's incident the most fatal. 18,000 people died during the quake, never having the chance to say goodbye to their loved ones. The heavily affected regions were located west of Istanbul in Izmit and Avşelar. The poorly constructed buildings of the region collapsed and homes fell. Search and rescue work were done through the building cracks and crevices. Among the rubble piles, many people wait for help. Any person rescued alive is a cause for cheer. Using a sound detector, the search and rescue tap, 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 waiting for a response from those trapped. The atmosphere is intense as no one dares to make a sound, for fear of missing any sound of life coming from below.
The rescue members cannot signal at the same time, for fear of interference. When one team is working, the other is responsible for signaling. This way, in trying to find people, we don't waste precious time.
As the clock ticks on, finding people alive became far and few between. For some, it became clear that they may never see their missing loved ones again. Along with the fallen homes, people's dreams have been shattered. Aftershocks were frequent, numbering over 200. If they feel the rumbling coming, they run outside seeking safety. Worried about strong aftershocks, hundreds of thousands take to living on the streets. The local parks become tent cities while hospital beds are overfilled with patients. The quake also caused a massive fire that spread at the nearby National Oil Refinery. It took 5 days for the fire to be contained. 20 countries, including Israel, joined in on the search and rescue work. The first country to arrive at the heavily disaster zone was Turkey's neighbor and also their political enemy, Greece.
And you need to depart, to separate, to say farewell to this place. You know, it's more than just a building site or a bulldozer. This is a matter of human lives. And that's what the ceremony is about, you know, to properly say farewell, properly leave, showing our respects.
A bouquet of yellow flowers for remembrance. It also marks solidarity in times of crisis. This event in 1999 will forever leave a wound on the historical timeline. Tzu Chi care recipient Tzu Chi of Malaysia suffered the loss of her husband during her third pregnancy. When Tzu Chi volunteers learned of her situation, they provided her with subsidies and found her a job opportunity. Since then, she has been able to stand on her own 2 feet and got rid of her sorrows. Now she can regain her happiness with her children. My name is Tzu Chi. I am 31 years old now and a single mother. I had a happy life before my husband passed away. After he has passed away, I had to go to work to support my family and I was pregnant. Life was difficult then. However, I still have other kids to take care of. There is no one who can help me. My parents' living condition is not ideal, so they can't always help. Sometimes my siblings assist me with the rent and some living expenses. Even my father has supported me before he passed away. After giving birth, Tzu Chi started helping me.
Her husband had a sudden heart attack when she was pregnant and passed away.
I have been under a lot of pressure, plus I need to take care of my kids and I have no work, so I can't pay the rent. Owing a lot of debts, I can only sell my valuables to get by. I didn't have a vehicle license, and then Tzu Chi paid the tuition fee for me to get the exam. Now I can ride the motorcycle to do anything on my own, like seeing a doctor or buying the groceries with my children. I also ride my motorcycle to work. It's more convenient to be self-reliant, otherwise there's no one for me.
She was in urgent need of a job, as my school had a job vacancy. Also, the work is nearby her house, so it's convenient to go back and forth to check on her children during the break time, so she was delighted to go.
Satu minggu. Masuk awak aja lah.
Kalau dia orang pandai dalam bahasa Melayu dan bahasa Melayu, pergi kedai.
When I prepare for meals, my kids will help with cutting vegetables, washing dishes. They also do household chores, such as sweeping the floor and cleaning. My kids will regularly go to the Tzu Chi recycling station to volunteer. Also, it's a chance to keep them busy. It's been 6 years without my husband by my side. With a stable job, my living circumstance is improved. Moreover, the children are now older. I can put my mind at ease. I am grateful to Tzu Chi. Without Tzu Chi's help, I can't imagine what my family would be like. I want to thank Tzu Chi for giving us a stable life. There are many disadvantaged students in the Philippines who have learned useful job skills through the livelihood training program. We follow our .itv reporter to learn more about the program and see how the students advance through life.
Beginning in late 2017, Tzu Chi Philippines embarked on a mission to provide indigent families the means to improve their lives. Under the livelihood training program, Tzu Chi opened various prospects for people to learn specific skills for lucrative jobs. Carlos Panessa and Ronald Bastinga are machine operators at the National Aerospace Fastener Corporation in Taiwan. They're very proud and excited to be part of a powerhouse team that manufactures fastener products for the aerospace, electronic, and high-end industrial sectors. Their hard work and positive attitude are an asset to the company.
Their performance at work is very good. They are very cooperative.
This is the fruit of Ronald's labor, the renovation of his family's home in Quezon City that he and his wife have long dreamt of.
Our old house was just a straight room. The dining table, kitchen sink, and the bedroom are just within reach, making it cramped.
Before joining Tzu Chi's livelihood training program, Ronald worked as a company truck driver, while Marjorie worked as a merchandiser in a mall. Were barely enough for their daily expenses. But Ronald's current job allows them to set aside money for savings. Cyrus Panessa also has savings thanks to her husband Carlos, who has a job in Taiwan. She's grateful for the opportunity made possible by Tzu Chi's program.
When he started his studies at Tzu Chi, I supported him in his dream of getting a permanent job. His old job as a salesman only lasted 5 months. He figured that if he enrolled into Tzu Chi program, he could work abroad.
Carlos works overtime so he can send more money to his family. Though he prefers for his wife not to work, Cyrus likes her online job. With Carlos' earnings, she was able to get a new laptop and some new things for the house.
We managed to buy a few household items. We didn't have a bed before, but now we have a bed, along with a dining table, sofa, and cabinet.
With the help of Tzu Chi Foundation, the story of Carlos Panessa and Ronald Bastinga serve as an inspiration to the future students of the program in pursuit of a better life for themselves and for their families as well. The transformation is possible with determination and perseverance on each part of the participant in the Tzu Chi Livelihood Training Program.
The 2018 Laos dam collapse also began Tzu Chi's affinity in the country as volunteers reached across borders to help. This year, a free clinic was held in the country with a team of members and volunteers from Taiwan, Singapore, Thailand, Hong Kong, and the Philippines. We will leave you with these images at the end of the program. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.